Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Utilita Arena here in the Steel City of Sheffield, England. We are live on the zone for the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBC Silver Super Lightweight Championship. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Betfred, Stagefront, Everlast, and Forged Irish Stout. This bout is sanctioned under the auspices of the British Boxing Board of Control. The stewards in charge are Ian Cragg and Alan Ulster, and the World Boxing Council. The president, Mauricio Suleiman. The supervisor is Jack Schmidley. Introducing your three judges scoring this contest from ringside. From Canada, David Belocerkovic. From Mexico, Cristian Garduno. And from England, Kevin Parker. And at the side of the belt, your third man in the ring, A-star referee, Mr. Victor Laughlin. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the stage is set and we are here. This is it. The time has come. I said the time has come. From the four corners of the world to the four corners of this ring right here in Sheffield, England, the fight starts now! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears black with red and green. This perilous southpaw scale, 9 stone, 13 pounds, 6 ounces. His professional record, 37 victories, 4 defeats, with 28 big wins coming by way of knockout. Desde Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico, and now living, training, and fighting out of La Puente, California, USA. Here is the former 3-time world title challenger, Jose Zepeda. And his opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. He wears black with blue trim. He's scaled identically at 9 stone, 13 pounds, 6 ounces. His professional record, a perfect one. 15 fights, 15 victories, with 11 of his 15 wins coming by way of knockout. Here is the former English, the former WBA International Silver, the former Commonwealth, and the reigning and undefeated British Super Lightweight Champion, proudly fighting out of his home of the Steel City of Sheffield, England. Here is the hard-hitting, undefeated young phenom, Dalton Thunder Smith.
So referee Victor Laughlin bringing both boxers together for the final instructions.
Okay, gents, you've had your instructions. Remember, obey my commands at all time. Defend yourselves at all time. God bless. Touch them.
You're listening to Professional Boxing on BBC 5 Sports Extra. Ronald McIntosh on Blow by Blow duty, along with 5 Live regular writer and historian Steve Bunce, and the former 2-time IBF featherweight champion of the world, Josh Warrington, ahead of this biggest step up in the career of Sheffield's Dalton Smith, as he faces off against the former 3-time world title challenger Jose Zepeda of the United States of America. We're underway. This is the battle for the WBC Silver Super Lightweight title, that is stepping stone belt in the event that things happen up with the major WBC belt. And it's the southpaw Jose Zepeda, wearing black trunks trimmed with an impression of burgundy and green. He's operating out of the southpaw stance on the front foot. Beautiful counter double left jab from the man operating out of the orthodox stance, and that is Dalton Smith, wearing black trunks, trimmed with blue, the staunch Sheffield Wednesday fan, just moving clockwise to his left around the outer edges of centre ring. Good right jab to the body landed by Zepeda, and the action is just approaching the neutral corner on this near side of the ring. Stab jab to the body from Zepeda, knocked down by Dalton Smith, and the decibel level being dialed up to maximum here in the steel city of Sheffield, the home city of Dalton Smith. A beautiful right jab, left cross from Zepeda, who comes to the ring with plenty of ambition. His second fight in the United Kingdom tonight. His first one was a brief encounter where he suffered a dislocated shoulder when challenging Turbo Terry Flanagan for his world title, the WBO World Lightweight title in Manchester back in July of 2015. Says that if he loses this fight tonight, well, it could well be the end of the road of a professional career, which has seen him operate at world level but never quite get to the world title status despite challenging for it 3 times. There's a right jab, left hook to the body, and another right jab. Dalton Smith just losing his footing as he moved backwards to his left, now moving counterclockwise. And Jose Zepeda asserting authority from the middle of the boxing ring. Dalton Smith remaining patient, remaining poised. Counter left jab from Smith, but it's Zepeda who is looking to dictate the terms and the tempo of this contest from the middle of the boxing ring. Left jab down the middle from Dalton Smith, beat the overarching right hand jab from the southpaw Zepeda, but it's Zepeda continuing to apply front foot pressure, and there's a beautiful left jab while moving laterally to his left to move from figure 7 on the clock face over to around figure 12. Our position is figure 7 on the clock face. Counter left hand attempted by Zepeda, but it was blocked by the effective glove defenses of Dalton Smith. 30 seconds remaining in this opening round, and it's Zepeda who continues to press, and there's a right hand followed by a left hook. Dalton Smith showing good defensive responsibility, tucked up like a turtle behind high-held gloves to ward off the left hook that was being thundered in by the man from the United States. As Zepeda, just feinting with his lead right hand, tries a stab jab to the body. Dalton Smith tried to counter with a right hand over the top. Neither man particularly accurate. An exchange of jabs, but it's Zepeda who keeps the attack going, scoring to both body and head, with Dalton Smith momentarily pinned against the ropes near the blue corner on the far side of the ring. Terrific opening round. Zepeda showing his experience.
Showing his experience, looking relaxed, looking comfortable, but more than that, looking very powerful. Dalton's body is peppered from 3 or 4 body shots. His face is cool, and Dalton looked once or twice there, Josh, like a rabbit trapped in the headlights when Zepeda pushed him back, because Zepeda's getting in and out a bit faster than maybe Dalton anticipated.
It's that rapid approach he's coming to. He's coming with that straight back left hand, and he's strong. And a couple of times in, he's thrown the jab and he's come round the side with a right hook as well. Same shot with, same hand for a different shot, and I think he's caught Dalton a little bit off guard there. Last 10 seconds, I think he shook Dalton a little bit.
I think he shook him, but I think what's maybe also shook Dalton is that how sharp and how fast he is. Because I tell you what, Ronald, you know I said earlier on about it might be right? Well, it might be wrong. That's half the timing for you, let me just tell you. And I hold my hands up to that.
Into the second round we go. Jose Zepeda fighting on the road. His second fight in Great Britain. 25 times he's fought in Mexico, 17 times in the United States of America. The previous outing here in the UK, not a happy one, but he's made a brisk start. There's a nice counter right hand from Dalton Smith over the top of the southpaw right from Zepeda, as the two men saber rattling with the lead hand. Beautiful backhand from Zepeda. The right jab uses a measuring stick, didn't find the range, but the left hand came thundering through, checking the chin of Dalton Smith. Then a right jab, and Dalton Smith, just on the edge of range, gets back to center ring, shoots out a left jab from his belt line as the two men continue to study and feint on the edge of range. Counter right hand from Dalton Smith in response to a right jab to the body from Zepeda, and Dalton Smith with a rare forward foray. Straight punches just backing up Zepeda, but now Zepeda looking to think his way in again. Underhand left hook from Zepeda, and then a left hook to the body as Dalton Smith led off the attack but was countered beautifully by Zepeda. Just over a minute gone in this second round, and the action just approaching this neutral corner on the near side of the ring. Both men just on the edge of centre ring, and the thinking and feinting continues. Left hook to the body, right hook to the head from Zepeda. Beautiful sharp left jab from Dalton Smith, but so far Zepeda looking incredibly comfortable. And if Dalton Smith wanted to use his youth and energy and ambition to test the 34-year-old Zepeda, perhaps he has to step the pace up, because at this type of tempo, for my money, Zepeda is going to be able to operate all contest long. Just a nod of respect between the two after the lead legs got tangled up, and the fencing with the lead hands continues once again. The fighter's just beyond range, creeping forward. Beautiful left jab to the body is the man creeping forward, and that's Jose Zepeda. Left cross to the body out of that southpaw stance. And Dalton Smith continuing to remain composed and patient, but for my money, he's been outpunched and outscored through the first 2 minutes of this second round. So Dalton Smith with his back near the ropes, near his blue corner on the far side of the ring, missed with a right hand, countered by 3 peppering punches from Zepeda, and then an exchange of jabs, and Zepeda showing such composure, such experience. There's a beautiful left jab, right cross from Dalton Smith, his best success of the entire contest, and it just sent Zepeda backwards, but now that spurs him into action, and he goes in pursuit of Dalton Smith, who was moving laterally around the clock face to his left. So final 20 seconds of this second round. Dalton Smith with an eye-catching left-right combination, but again, for my money, the greater volume of punches and the front foot pressure being applied by Zepeda. Sneaky right hand attempted by Dalton Smith once again, but countered by a left hook from Zepeda out of that southpaw stance. Second round in the book.
Josh, you're absolutely right. He's trying to set him up with a body shot to bring something over. Dalton, what Dalton's got to do here, first of all, not panic. First of all, stay composed. Easier said than done. He's got to somehow push him back, because when he caught him with the right hand, he did force him back. And he caught him with another right hand there and forced him back. But forcing Zepeda back is easier said than done, Josh.
And that's what he's saying. He's got to force him back. And with him that sharp, what he's doing, Dalton, is touching him with the left and then coming back with a sharp right hand, that straight right hand. What he needs to do is start feinting that, start dropping that feint, drop a feint with the leg, or maybe use a jab, then goes to the second phase attack. Do it when Zepeda's least expecting it, but they both seem to be touching each other with their front hand and then coming in with every backhands.
And we know why Zepeda's doing it, because he's a banger, and that's the way he works. You know, so many stoppages. Dalton, okay, looked better in that round. Still lost the round, Ronald. You're right, but he looked better in that round than he did in the first. Here we go.
So we move into the third round then of a contest that is scheduled for 12. Both men around the 75% mark in terms of KO ratios. 11 of 15 Dalton Smith victories coming inside the distance. The 37 wins from the 43 bouts contested by Zepeda. 28 of them have come inside the distance, and if you're wondering how 37-4 as Dalton Smith just looking for the range with a hook, how 37-4 takes it to the 43 fight record of Zepeda, that's because he's got 2 no contests on his ledger as well, coming in fights 25 and 34. It's Zepeda on the front foot, Dalton Smith, check hook off the ropes, then a left jab, right cross through the middle. Right cross may have grazed the chin of Zepeda, who is again front-footed, stalking his man. Left cross to the body of Dalton Smith, who then claims his man out of that blue corner, walks him back to the space of centre ring, shrugs off Victor Laughlin, who put a hand on his shoulder. And again, thrusting jab to the body from Zepeda. Reverse 1, 2, 3, right cross, left jab, right cross from Dalton Smith, then a left jab, right cross again from Dalton Smith. Reaching left hand to the body from Zepeda was short, and Dalton Smith will have processed that information and could well look to counter him over the top. Dalton Smith got his feet into fantastic position against the southpaw, scored with a 2-shot combination before following up with a left-right. Dalton Smith with a good parry with the left hand to knock down the southpaw jab of Zepeda and counter with the right hand over the top. There's a right hand lead from Dalton Smith, followed by a left-right combination from Dalton Smith, who's beginning to find the range with more consistency now, and the placement of his feet against his southpaw stance as he counters with a left jab after he was picked off by a straight shot. But Dalton Smith's foot placement is allowing him to shoot shots down the middle against this veteran southpaw, Jose Zepeda. Just beyond the halfway stage of the third round, the action near the red corner. Left cross, right hook from Zepeda. Again, the shot's partially parried by the black gloves of Dalton Smith, The action approaching the ropes at figure 11 on the clock face. If you consider our position is figure 7, two-shot salvo from Dalton Smith, then an overhand right not set up by the jab. And Dalton Smith finding the range with more regularity now, and the shots are heavy because he's sitting down on them. Good right hook to the body landed by Zepeda, followed by a left jab. Dalton Smith snuck home a single shot in between. There's another lead right hand from Dalton Smith. There he went in search of a left jab, right cross, looking for a counter half hook, half uppercut now. And Dalton Smith content to play counter puncher against the creeping front foot pressure being applied by Jose Zepeda. Closing seconds of this third round. Dalton Smith with his best round so far. There he looks for a left hook once again. And Zepeda keeping a marauding attack going, practically chasing Dalton Smith across the boxing ring and letting winging left hands go. Catching up Dalton Smith on a couple of occasions. Best round of the contest for Dalton Smith as he continues to find the range.
Best round of Dalton Smith's career. Let me tell you why, Ronald. Because it was the round in his entire career, Josh, where he's had to think, where he's had to change what he's done in previous rounds to win that round. I thought that was a really good round for Smith. Not just necessarily what he did, but what he's trying to do.
And like you say, how he's just adjusted.
Absolutely, he's had to adjust.
How he just did. What he did then, Steve, he made a little bit of a distancing, and he just made that little inch or so back, but he was reading Zepeda's feet.
Massive short distance.
Exactly. As soon as Zepeda started to attack, he took a step back, but then when Zepeda stopped, he countered him straight away. And at one point there, followed him back with 3 straight punches, but all clean every punches.
And he made Zepeda miss, which he hadn't done in the first 2 rounds, and he calmed down a bit. I don't want him to get greedy.
No,
we've got a distance fight. Let's have a few rounds.
But in the second half of that, he made Zepeda going wild.
Yeah, he did.
And like jumping in shots. Yeah, very good. Very good.
Good round. First 2 rounds, not so nice.
We move into the 4th round then. This a tilt for the WBC Super Lightweight title. Dalton Smith back in the ring here in the Sheffield Arena. Beautiful right hand again from Dalton Smith, sending a shower of spray from the hair of Jose Zepeda. But last time out here, it was a sumptuous 7th round KO over the accomplished Stan Maxwell, the Londoner out of Liverpool, to win the Commonwealth title and claim the Lord Lonsdale belt outright. But this, his biggest step up against an experienced operator. Beautiful single shot landed from Zepeda. Dalton Smith looking for the counter, couldn't quite find the range, and the 2 men at centre ring just thinking and feinting once again, knocking the lead hands. Big commitment with the right cross by Dalton Smith. It was long over the shoulder of Zepeda, and Zepeda briefly found himself in a headlock. Lead right jab from Zepeda is countered immediately by a double left jab from Dalton Smith, and then Dalton Smith reverse 1-2 again, leading off with the right hand, following it by a jolting left jab. Dalton Smith, they're firing a left jab, skipping off to his left. Left jab was short, but it had a blinding effect on Zepeda, keeping him occupied. Both men just inaccurate. Dalton Smith firing a right cross upstairs. Body shot was attempted by Zepeda. Zepeda long with his attempted right hook, catching his man with his forearm as Smith landed with a good straight shot to the body. And it's Zepeda looking to cut off the ring as Dalton Smith moving counterclockwise to his right. Beautiful counter right hand, a pull counter from Dalton Smith, who let his man lead off before employing the layback and thundering home a right cross. Then a reverse 1-2 once again from Dalton Smith, whose patience is paying dividends here, and he's punctuating his performance with some terrifically timed punches here, with 2 minutes gone in this round. Dalton Smith making incredible adjustments here, because in the first 2 rounds he was outworked and outboxed for my money. Then in the third he really began to get it together, and here in the 4th he's timing his man beautifully, employing the layback and getting the better of any exchanges. There he's got the better jab again in an exchange of jabs. He was second, but his lead stick was more authoritative. Dalton Smith on the back foot, moving both clockwise and counterclockwise, now moving counterclockwise to his right as the shaping and feinting continues on the edge of range. Fires a backhand without setting it up with a jab once again. But he is finding the range repeatedly with that backhand against the southpaw. And of course, the right hand, an effective antidote against that southpaw stance. Zepeda continuing to press, glancing left hand to the body landed by Zepeda, counter jab again, and Dalton Smith has discovered his timing here in this 4th round, and he's using that quality to perfection. Counter counter right hand again from Dalton Smith, but the final word coming from Zepeda as he scored with a left hand over the top. We're going to head over to the blue corner and listening to the words of Dalton Smith's father and trainer, Grant Smith.
Your left arm all right, yeah? Yep. So you said you were shaking it off. Can you feel the rhythm?
Yeah, killing him that fit.
Honestly, them feints and go first. You can't let him walk in and then try to come this side.
Yeah, keep that backhand cocked. You're doing it nice.
Leave your backhand cocked, and if you're going
Feints and then lead off, and that's exactly what you were talking about 2 rounds ago. It's going well in that corner. It's going well in this fight now, Josh.
Yeah, it seemed really relaxed there, actually. Grant Smith just confirming everything what we've just been talking about there. But Ronald says it's on his time, but also his distancing.
Yeah.
It just seems to be the right distance to get the shots off, but Zepeda's thing's just far away.
Yeah, and it looks like, I don't like to say, I don't want to tempt fate, it almost looks like Dalton's enjoying himself, Ron. Yeah.
So into the 5th round we go. You may have heard a London accent over in that blue corner, and that's Sonny Edwards, former world champion, who is the Steel City Gym's first world champion. Dalton Smith keen to emulate his accomplishments, and there's a big step up tonight as the counter right hand jolts the head back of Zepeda once again. And this is a really efficient display from Dalton Smith. Left hook followed by left jab as the two men fence with the lead hands once more. The action is approaching the neutral corner of this near side of the ring. Counter right hand from Smith was just inaccurate. Tried to counter with the left jab. But this is a terrifically patient, mature display from Dalton Smith. Remember, his nickname is Thunder. He gets his men out of there inside the distance at a 73% clip. But the manner in which he's going about this performance here, inviting pressure and confident in his timing as he lands a beautiful right hook on the counter against the advancing Jose Zepeda, followed by a right cross through the middle, partially parried by the gloves of Zepeda, and then he keeps the attack going, and he's taken down Zepeda with a body shot, a delayed reaction, and Zepeda slumped to the canvas, and he's not going to beat the count. On his haunches, Jose Zepeda taken out by Dalton Smith in the 5th round of what is a career best performance against the 3-time world challenger Jose Zepeda. A very patient display of the most mature order, because the veteran from the United States of America really posed questions in the first 2 rounds of this contest, and Dalton Smith was losing the contest, but he kept his composure. He trusted the game plan, and in the 3rd round began to find his timing. In the 4th round, his timing and mastery of distance were evident, and then in the 5th round, he wiped out the resistance of Jose Zepeda to take him out inside the distance and secure his best ever win.
He's just out Mexican and Mexican. Let's get that right. And Ronald, you know, I often joke about after timing. Those first 2 rounds, Zepeda looked sharp, he looked composed, he looked brilliant, and Dalton looked a bit at sea. He adjusted in the 3rd, turned it on in the 4th, and finished it there. It's a sickening last shot. That's a right to the body, full power, looping half hook, half cross. He goes down, he's not getting up. But before then, he'd started to unload. He called him an uppercut. Josh, that was a fantastic, punch-perfect performance.
It's taking my breath, Steve.
Yeah,
and
mine, and Zepeda's.
And Zepeda's. You know, you often wonder, is that first 2 rounds, were they prepared to...
Gonna have to interrupt you, Josh. Becky Ives is on the other side of the ring.
Junaid, wow, what did you make of that?
What do I make of it? World level, big step up, and he's got him out the way he has. Clinical, perfect performance.
Incredible in front of his home crowd as well. What has that just done? Has that put him on the map? Statement win.
Well, I'm not being funny here. Everyone was saying how hard of a fight it was, saying, oh, it's too much of a big jump. Richard Hitchenson's only beaten by points, etc. He's wiped him out. Jackson's back on the world stage.
You're almost dying to get in the ring. Junaid, thanks so much for giving us a chat.
Thank you very much.
Those are post-fight thoughts of Dalton
Boston.
Smith.
Yeah.
Gym mate Junaid Boston out of the Steel City Gym. Steve, let's have you pick it up after that brilliant display.
And he's absolutely right. You know, and I'm so keen on this, Ronald. I hate sometimes what we do in Britain. When we have a British fight have a good win, We don't say anything before. As soon as it's over, we say the Mexican only came for the payday. He only came for the money. He should have retired. Last time out, he went 12 rounds with a guy called Richardson Hitchens, who everybody is calling one of the new saviours of boxing. Sure, Hitchens won every single round. He didn't drop him. He didn't bash him up. He didn't knock him out in the 5th round, Ronald. No one called Richardson Hitchens win against an old man who was washed up for a payday. Let's not call that a win over a man who was washed up and over for a payday. That was a great win, Ronald, a fantastic win.
And moreover, Steve, the manner in which Jose Zepeda started the contest, asserting his authority and experience against Dalton Smith. But the adjustments that Dalton Smith made and how he was able to implement them, hugely impressive.
Unbelievable.
25 seconds of round number 5, declaring you winner by knockout. He's still undefeated and the new WBC Silver Super Lightweight Champion, Dalton Thunder Smith.
So Dalton Smith extends his perfect record, improving to 16-0 with 12 wins coming inside the distance. But forget about the numbers. Yes. The opponent he has just defeated and the manner in which he has defeated him, confirming that, as Steve Bunce suggested before the opening bell, the matchmakers, the management team, Dalton Smith, his father, Grant Smith, his father, his grandfather, and the entire Steel City Gym have made this move at the right time. The leash now well and truly taken off, and he's on the cusp of world class.
Do you know what? I was nervous in the week because I could see how sharp he looks, Zepeda. I was really worried. I kept hitting Josh in the elbows. He's a bit tougher than me, so he wasn't bothered. And that was in those first 2 rounds because I didn't like how sharp Zepeda looked. And I didn't like the fact that Dalton looked a bit perplexed. But he settled down, listened to the corner, and that was a beautiful 3rd and 4th and a stunning 5th.
Well, that's all I was going to say before Jade got up and said on the rung. That performance there, now you look at the 2 rounds, you could actually say, you know what, has he just shown a level of a world-class fighter?
Absolutely.
Because, like, we know boxing, you look at 12 rounds, sometimes you think it's not a long time, but you can be really tactical, Ronald. You can really tactical. When he trying to get the distance, gauge his timing then from the first couple of rounds. Once he found it, it was masterclass for round 3, round 4. And towards that round 5, he caught a beautiful right angled uppercut, and then that kind of stumbled Zepeda.
It hurt him,
yeah. And he certainly got his respect, and then that body shot came through. Just that delayed reaction, some power in that.
But I was just about to say to you, pull your heads up and say, I hope he doesn't get greedy and go looking for a finishing shot. And of course he got greedy when looking for a finishing shot. So if I'd have said it to you, you could have embarrassed me by saying, and Bunsey, you didn't want him to go and finish it. Well, I'm pleased he did finish it. It was, you know what, there's two endings tonight, Ronald, that I don't think I could have written down. I mean, I fancied Smith to win, you know I did. I fancied him to win on points and to do a boxing lesson. And I had no problem with Sandy winning that fight, but not by that way. I've seen 2 outcomes tonight. That was really impressive. I know he's not a baby. That was a coming-of-age fight tonight, and it sent a warning around the world.
Dalton Smith, 27 years of age, and we've mentioned the title that is up for grabs. It's the WBC Super Lightweight title, which sounds a bit of a mouthful, but Steve, what it means is that it puts him in a really strong jockeying position for the WBC's belt. Now, Devin Haney is he is taking on Ryan Garcia. The winner of that contest is mandated to fight Sandor Martin. Now, if you're at that level, no disrespect to Sandor Martin, that is not a mandatory that you want to fulfill.
Absolutely.
So if that title becomes vacant, all of a sudden, by winning this silver title tonight,
you're there.
Exactly. So it could be Sandor Martin against Dalton Smith for the vacant WBC world title.
Well, I think that did tonight, that fight, okay, as it puts him definitely in that mix. That's not me. Don't throw your radio yes yet. Don't kick your dashboard if you're driving. I'm not saying he's going to beat Devin Haney next time out, or he's going to beat Ryan Garcia, or he's even going to beat Regis Prograis. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that win entitles him to be in the mix, to be in the race, to be in the question, to be in the discussion, and you know it does. It's as simple as that. And I don't want anybody to be in any doubt that what we saw here tonight was a stunning performance. You got to love Becky's up in the ring. She nearly then, she very nearly then had Grant Smith just for 1 second.
So Dalton Smith turning this Sheffield arena into a fortress, and what a famous fighting city he hails from. In order to see it, in order to achieve it, you've got to see it, and so many role models out of this fantastic fighting city to emulate. He wants to follow on in the footsteps of Nazim Hamed and Johnny Nelson and Kid Galahad and Kell Brook, who's here tonight.
And Ryan Rhodes is here tonight as well.
Indeed, and of course the man who became the first world champ out of the Steel City gym. He's very much a South Londoner, but he's made this city his home, and that is Sonny Edwards. And again, training alongside a world champ in the gym. How much inspiration is Dalton going to take from that, seeing how a world champ goes about his trade and his preparation and his approach, and then transferring it to the ring?
Well, he's going to take that energy, and he's going to take that energy, that's for sure, and he's going to see that and think, you know what, I want to be at that level. I remember doing the same with some of my gym mates, being British champions, thinking I want a little piece of that. But more than anything, more than all of that, it's the maturity. You know, you're talking about there, it could have looked for the finish. There were the moments in that first two when round 3, 1, 4, when he was having success going forward them clean 1-2s, and he could have got carried away.
Absolutely.
He's headlined here, there's a hell of a crowd here for him.
Yes.
Everyone's getting giddy, everyone's standing on their feet screaming and shouting him, but he showed maturity there. Really, and I think that's really important when you've got a lot of pressure. Like this was like we spoke about this being a right timing fight, but it is showing that mature. I can take my time. I'll do it when I want to do it, not when the crowd want me to, not when my corner team, not when anything. You know, getting giddy ringside shouts. Do it when I want to do it, and I think that's another box tick. He could do it. On his own terms.
So that was you know, we talked about staying composed and not panicking and not thinking, hold on a minute, it's been a long time since anybody beat me, you know, and literally as an amateur, and really beat me. I don't mean nicked a decision off me, Ronald. Those first 2 rounds, I tell you what, it'd be an awful long time ago that Dalton Smith had 2 rounds where he was caught, pushed back, and didn't have the solution. Because he didn't have the solution in the first 2 rounds. I bet it's been an awful long time, and that's what I particularly liked about it. Sure, the finish was great. Of course, the finish was fantastic, but it was just, as Josh just said, he changed what he wanted to do. He took his time and he meant it. And I like knockouts where they mean it, not some lucky shot that's caught someone, you swung it, or not when you back someone against the ropes and you slip one through. He meant that.
So we've been talking about what this WBC Super Light Silver title means, and the potential of fighting for a vacant title somewhere down the line, depending on what happens with Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia and Sandor Martin, who's waiting as a mandatory. But right here in the UK, we have got a certain young phenom out of Slough down at Shane McGuigan's gym in Leighton, a certain Adam Azim, who is the European champion. How much do you like that fight, Steve? How likely is it to take place for that European title between 2 young starlets?
You know what, Ronald? If you listen to me on a regular basis, you know I don't mind hyping an event. I don't mind selling it. I'm going to hold my hands up. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen until one of them is forced or there is absolutely zillions on the table. Because Adam Azim is ploughing one path. The people that promote him, the people who look after him, believe they've got a sensation on their hands, and they're going to make a lot of money, and they're going to make him very famous. And equally, the people handling, in all fairness, the people handling Dalton, they believe they've got a sensation on their hands.
So despite what we saw with Groves de Gale early in their careers, you don't think that could be emulated here? As Dalton Smith, sorry to interrupt Steve, just climbs the neutral corner turnbuckle. He's got that silver title strapped around him, and now Becky Ives is in position to conduct an interview up on the ring apron. Becky, it's over to you.
All right, Dalton Smith, congratulations. What are we calling that? Demolition job tonight?
You can tell me. I'll have to watch it back, but you know, I felt comfortable in there, I felt sharp. And yeah, I needed that performance.
Did it feel like a more mature performance from you tonight? Because Zepeda came out hard in the first round, but you seemed to figure it out each round.
Yeah, that's it. I knew he was... Look, he stopped 28 out of 38 fights. He starts fast. I had to be sharp, but look, I was in there. I had 12 rounds tonight. and I showed my maturity. I showed I could adapt as the rounds went on. And look, I outsmarted a world-class operator tonight. So yeah, we'll just keep on growing.
Let's bring Eddie Hearn in here. Statement made tonight.
You know, that was the fight that takes you from British and European level to world level. WBC silver champion is going to go in top 5. That title could become vacant soon. Final eliminators, world championship shots on the way. Massive night for Dalton Smith. Cemented it. We knew he was the next star coming out of Sheffield, but tonight you heard the atmosphere, you saw the performance. The kid's the real deal.
What did this atmosphere mean to you tonight? Because the noise was incredible.
Do you know what? It gets better and better every time I come out, but like I said, the pre-fight nerves what you have, and then as soon as you get onto that ramp and you hear the crowd roar, you know, they uplift you and you think, right, I'm going to war, I ain't losing tonight.
What do you want the world to know about Dalton Smith?
I think I've just proved it tonight. You know, like I say, I'm not one to talk crap. I do my talking in the ring, and that's why I like to do it, and that's where I get my enjoyment out.
How far can you go together, Eddie?
All the way. We signed him as a debutant, a great fighter from Team GB. I believe he's going to go on and win a world championship. If it's not at the end of 2024, it'll be 2025, and he'll be around for a long time because he's consistent, he works hard, he's a class fighter, class operator, he's got a great head on his shoulders, and you know, we need some new blood in British boxing that's capable of ruling the world, and Dalton Smith is that.
All right, what's the plan? Night out in Sheffield tonight?
No drink. I'm teetotal, no drink. But yeah, I'm going to stay out, see all my supporters, see my family, and yeah, just have a good night.
Awesome, enjoy it. Thank you very much, guys. Well done, Dalton, well done.
Dalton Smith living the life. Just see his family. That will be the extent of his celebrations. And knowing Dalton, Steve, is likely to be back in the gym this week.
Oh, listen, he might even go down for shakeout tomorrow. What are you talking about? He's guaranteed to be in the gym because they've got Junaid Boston, who we heard from earlier on. He's got a fight coming up. Sonny's ticking over because he's looking at something for the summer. Sonny's always ticking over, and he'll be looking as well. And also, what they've got there, I know lots of people say, oh, we've got a great atmosphere in our gym. They've got not just a great atmosphere. They've got a real thing going on there in that gym. They really stick together. They travel together. It's a bit like an old-fashioned amateur setup where you're in a 5-seater car and there's 7 of them in the car. You know those old days, Josh? And when you started off, because you started off on small halls, yep. Arenas and whatnot. And you get in a car and you think, well, listen, and I've got 5 seats in my car. There's 9 of us. Don't worry, get in the back. 6 in the back. Not a seat belt in sight. Stop at the chippy when you've made your 700 quid. You're laughing. This happened to him, Ronald. This is absolutely true. Dalton didn't have that, but they create an atmosphere in that gym. And I tell you what, Grant Smith, his father, he runs it like that. In that gym, there used to be a sign in amateur boxing clubs. There was one at the Repton, there was one at the Fitzroy Lodge, and it was a big sign as you walked through the door, and you had to stop before you walked in. And it said, no boy, apologies to the women who have come along after, no boy is bigger than this club. Yeah. And it's a version of that hangs in every single boxing gym in the world. No boy is bigger than this club.
I'll echo that, Stevie. It's an individual sport, that's for sure. We're the ones who take the punches individually, but the energy in the gym, you can build it. I'll speak on my own experience with myself, Max Hughes, Reece Small, and all the other young prospects coming through in our gym. When Max is doing well, Reece is doing well, you feed off that. You come back to the gym, you've been watching one of them fighters fight, and then you're like, wow, you're inspired, so you make sure you train a little bit harder, and they've had a great performance on the weekend. You're thinking, right, I want to have a great performance on my next fight, and it's a great energy, and that buzz there. All right, Sonny might have come like second best in his last fight, but that'll give Sonny a boost.
Absolutely, it'll give Sonny a boost. Yeah, that's a really good point.
It's all good energy, and they're all going to. They'll all be tooting for him to be all with him every step of the way till he gets to that world title.
Well, Grant Smith in conversation with Eddie Hearn. One can only wonder the future course that they are plotting out for their 27-year-old starlet Dalton Smith after a terrific performance tonight. Steve, Josh, just give us your overall impression of what has been another fantastic night of boxing here in the UK, I hasten to add. And these are the type of nights that UK boxing can produce on UK soil. Your final impressions of what has been a beautiful evening.
A big venue, a good night all the way through, and then suddenly we saw 2 quite exceptional performances from 2 boxers. They may have been the slight betting favourite. They may have been the 2 people I thought would win the fight. But I don't I didn't under any circumstances believe I'd see what I saw tonight. Terry Harper, who's a really good fighter, was outclassed, outfought and outblasted, and being pulled out at the end of the fourth and smiling about it. Sandy Ryan, back from America, was absolutely exceptional. And then Dalton Smith, the first 2 rounds he lost them and he had to really do some adjusting, really do some thinking. Then he came on top slowly and knocked out a Mexican cleanly with a right to the body. You know, listen, I use this expression a lot. That's fairy tale land. That's the sort of stuff that doesn't happen. I love that sort of stuff. That's why I show up at ringside every night, you know, and I'm going to carry on doing it until I'm 50.
It was a nice night in Sheffield, though, obviously. Myself coming back here since my last fight. But, you know, a really enjoyable card, and obviously a lot of the shows have been overseas, shall we say, in the last few months. But good to see a show jam-packed from the first couple of fights all the way to the main event. Exciting fights. You're looking down the card as well, you know, like the last 5 fights, they were all 50-50s. Exciting fights, one good bits of boxing, and then drama and excitement in the last couple.
Well, what a night it has been here at the Utilita Arena in Sheffield. Career best performances from 2 outstanding boxers. Sandy Ryan making a successful defense of a WBO welterweight title, completely overwhelming Terry Harper, whose corner pulled her out at the end of the 4th round. And then in our co-main event, Dalton Smith, the man who won the British Lonsdale belt outright last time out, returning to the Sheffield Arena and navigated his way through a tricky assignment very well indeed. Lost the first 2 rounds, but adjusting on the job. Foot placement perfect, judgment of distance, timing, and he used all of those qualities to dominate the final 2 rounds before taking his man out with a sumptuous body shot in the 5th. That perhaps speaks to the amateur pedigree acquired by Dalton Smith and Sandy Ryan, just a jab and left hook away over the road at the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield. But it just remains for me, Ronald McIntosh, to conclude what has been a magnificent night of boxing. And on behalf of our entire team, reporter Becky Ives, producer Patrick Whiteside, analyst Steve Bunce, and our expert co-commentator, 2-time IBF featherweight champ Josh Warrington, thank you for staying with us. Stay across the socials for more news, updates and information about the sweet science of boxing. Bye for now.